Hey, good morning, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Behind the Mic with me, Mike Avery, here in the Outdoor Magazine radio studio as I do a little last minute show prep. I'm in good shape for this week's show, but I want to make sure I've got the right documents, the right pieces of paper in front of me. And okay, I think we're good to go. Good morning, my friends. Appreciate you joining me on this edition of Behind the Mic here from the Outdoor Magazine radio studio. Always nice to get back in here and shoot the breeze about the outdoors here in the great state of Michigan and occasionally beyond. Paul, good morning. Where'd we go, Paul? Good morning. How are you? Craig Plowman, my friend. Always a pleasure. Mad Jack, nice to have you along with us here on this edition of Behind the Mic. I will be back tonight, of course, 7 o'clock, to do another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Cliff, good morning. How are you? Appreciate you joining us as well. Isn't the change in weather nice? A little bit cooler, got a little rain. Wonderful for the food plots, the lawns, the crops, and much more. Some things I want to talk about this morning. Of course, I'll talk about my Ontario bear hunt. I'll talk about the kids going back to school, Labor Day. Talk about the Avery knife. Talk about the Lumberjack Wednesday Night Live. We're set for Wednesday, September 24th. So put that on your calendars now. Wednesday, September 24th, the next Wednesday Night Live at the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. Cliff says, technical difficulties last week on your end. Well, Cliff, I'd rather have them be on your end than mine. That's for sure. Tim Binns, always a pleasure. Good morning. How are you? Yeah, in our world, the kids went back to school Monday, Tuesday. I mean, it was this week. So hard to believe that it's that time of year. But I've been telling you. Paul, had our board meeting, gave the numbers for the golf outing, made recommendations for us to make it an annual event. Now it goes to the membership vote. Beautiful. NRC giving in to science finally. Yeah, I will have Justin Tomei of MUCC on the show this week to talk about the recent NRC, the Natural Resources Commission meeting, where they apparently agreed to go back to a year-round coyote hunting season, which should have been the situation in the first place. Cliff says 67 degrees where he is in Ohio. Good morning, Randy. Yeah, when I was in White River, actually, it got down to 45 degrees one morning. Oh, did that feel good. It was cold. We were out looking for my bear, and I didn't have gloves. Who would have thought to bring gloves? My hands were cold, so that felt pretty good. Vaughn, good morning. Sorry about your bear hunt. It happened to be in Canada this spring, but son got a nice one, though. Yeah, and here's what happened, and I will talk extensively about this. And by the way, those of you who are hunters, if you hunt long enough, you have not recovered an animal. And it sucks, doesn't it? It sucks. It stinks. It hurts. It's embarrassing. It's frustrating. It hurts you right to the core. But you don't have to talk about it publicly like I do. I guess I don't have to talk about it publicly, but I choose to because this is the world that I live in. And I hyped it up, and I did so many posts about going up there and getting set up, and I'm in my mind obligated to talk about it and to follow up on it publicly. So it sucks, but I find it interesting. So many people who have not shot as many bears as I have. Well, Avery, when you shoot a bear, you got to shoot him in a different spot than you do a whitetail. And the anatomy of the bear requires you to make a different shot. And by the way, had you used a tracking dog, you would have recovered that animal. Okay, relax. Okay, I know where to shoot a bear. I've killed a crap load of bears. I've had 2 of them that I didn't recover. This being the most recent one. It happens. It sucks. I made a mistake. I'm fessing up to it. I'm living up to it. The mistake wasn't really in the shot. Although, I still think it was a good shot, but obviously it wasn't. Where we made the mistake was pushing that animal that night. I looked at the shot. I replayed the shot in my mind. I looked at the shot on video, and I'm thinking that's not a bad shot. If anything, maybe a liver shot. Certainly not a gut shot. Maybe a liver shot. So when the guys came out and I showed them the video, they said, "Let's go. That's a dead bear." And these guys have more experience with bears than I do. So we started tracking the animal. We got on a good blood trail, and it was a pretty good blood trail. And the excitement of the blood trail, I will admit, I let it get to me. And in my excitement, we decided to keep going. And looking back on it, that was a mistake. Had we backed out and allowed that animal to die, I am convinced we would have found him laying dead in his bed the next morning. But because we kept finding blood, we kept pushing. And I think we pushed him too hard. And that was the mistake. And I fully admit that. I acknowledge that. And the thing of it is, I know better than that. I know not to do that. And we did it. And that's why I didn't recover that bear. And it hurts. And the situation is exacerbated because I have to talk about it. I have to talk about it here. I have to talk about it online. And now I have to talk about it on the radio show. Yeah, a lot of professionals. Mike Avery. I'm exaggerating here. I've shot a bear before. Not Avery, but the Facebook trolls. I've shot a bear before, and I have studied the bear anatomy. And you have to actually place your shot considerably different, like 3 inches different than you would have to on a whitetail. Because if you look at the anatomy of a bear, I get it, dumbasses. I get it. I've shot a bunch of bears. I made a mistake. I didn't recover the animal. It hurts. I'm talking about it. I'm replaying it. I'm reliving it. It hurts. It stinks. It sucks. But don't come at me and say, well, don't try to be the bear expert with me, okay? Don't do it, because I'm pretty sure you haven't shot as many bears as I have. I just made a mistake. Bear Camp. It's White River, Ontario, Canada. And the thing about that is there's no tracking dogs nearby. Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters says he wishes there were tracking dogs there. So, okay, let me get to a few more comments. Tim checking in. Absolutely sucks. Facebook trolls, gotta love him. An albino deer running around, no kidding. Vaughn says, my bow hit my camera and exploded the camera, very low belly shot. Good morning, Joel. Uncle Johnny, how you doing, buddy? Congrats on your almost hole-in-one. I had to go to the dentist yesterday. He was telling me he's actually had 3 hole-in-ones, and he was telling me that he set the course record for the Saginaw Country Club last year of 9 under, and then he was playing with Mike Wanglikowski from Garber this year, and Mike shot a 10 under and broke it. Thank you, JT. I appreciate that. Judy knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's so easy to get caught up in the excitement. We know better, but the excitement wins. Yeah, it's like when you step back, you go, well, we shouldn't have pushed that bear. We should have backed out and let him die. But when you're on a good blood trail, and like it's every time you turn the corner, you find more blood. You're thinking that bear is going to bleed out. Let's just keep going. We're going to find a dead bear here in front of us in a few yards. But we didn't. Morning, Danny. How are you? Danny Johnson, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. I'm still drinking my coffee and drinking my Crystal Light out of the mug you guys gave me. Thank you. Ryan, the Bay City boys on fly and fishing trip Canada. Good pike, walleye, few big perch. Excellent. Bernie, good morning. How are you? I used my crossbow, Randy. I could not have used the 350 Legend in Ontario. You know why? Because the 350 Legend is an AR platform firearm, and ARs are not allowed in Canada because of course, those are deadly assault weapons. Brisket. No, it wasn't brisket. Yeah, I had one guy tell me. And I haven't posted the video of the shot, and I'm not going to. It's hard enough to talk about it without replaying the shot that isn't a bad shot, but we didn't recover the animal. And then one guy said, and here's one guy, Well, you know the anatomy of a bear. You shot him low. How in the hell do you know where I shot him? You haven't even seen the video. I didn't shoot him low. If anything, I shot him back a little bit far. It was a liver shot. Dan, good morning. Yeah, well, then I must be ethical, Cap, because I feel that I feel it. Good morning, Tommy. Jim, good morning. Hey, Laura, how are you? Jesse, good morning. Mickey, nice to have you along with us. John, checking in from Saline. Exactly, Tim. If you hunt enough, it is going to happen. Doesn't make it any better, doesn't make it any easier. But as an ethical hunter, as a committed hunter, you have to accept that situation and move on. The difference between most people and me is most people can wallow in that self-pity and disgust and be pissed off about it privately. I don't have that luxury. Because I live in the world that I do, and I choose to be very public about my outdoor adventures and experiences, I have to talk about the bad as well as the good. So I have the added blessing of not only having the bad experience, reliving the bad experience in my mind, then having to post about the bad experience, then having to talk about it on live streams, and then talk about it on the radio show. So I'm really lucky. I get to relive it over and over. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not happy about it. After I talk about it on this week's show, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to be like Elsa and let it go, let it go, let it go, and just move on. That's all you can do. We did everything we could at the time. We did not have any tracking dogs. Good morning, Robert. Walk-in cooler, excellent. So am I, Jerry, but thank you. Exactly, Jim. Thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, a little early to start thinking about your dream buck for the rifle season. Exactly. Bernie says, yeah, it's never good enough for social media. Yes, thank you, Michael. Appreciate that. Yes, it was a pass-through, Tommy. Absolute pass-through. I found the arrow. Arrow's covered in blood. The rec broadhead, the mechanical, is fully deployed. It passed through the animal. I made what I thought was a... No, I never posted the video. I'm not going to. It does happen. Morning, Jim. Hello, Joe. I don't know. Scott, have you? Have you sold the boat yet? I don't know. I've been out of touch for the last week or so. I don't know. I will go to the Angler Quest dealers meeting tomorrow and talk to Brad. Maybe it is sold. I do not know. So anyway, yes, it was a pass-through. It wasn't low. It wasn't high. It was exactly on the plane where I want to shoot. The only thing is, it was a little bit back. It definitely was a little bit back. It was not gut shot, but it was not double lung. If it was double lung, I would have had the animal. I think it's a liver shot, which means we should have backed out, and we did not, and that's on me. Good morning, Nick. How are you? Rain for the food plots. Nick, I got to tell you, and you saw the post I made. Thank you for the Michigan brand products for my Ontario bear hunt. I love those. What are they called? I got a mental block. I can't think of. Is it Jack and Snacks? The package that has the cheese and the meat sticks combined. It is wonderful. And actually, Nick, I had a couple of bags of Michigan brand products left over from my trip, and I had them sitting on the counter this morning, and I was going to bring them here into the studio, and I walked right by them. So the guys are going to be disappointed that I did not bring in the Michigan brand products. Leave it. Yeah, leave it behind. Ken Karstens, good morning, Mike, received his Rapid River knife within 5 days of ordering, all the way down here in Western Kentucky. Excellent, thank you. What I'm going to do, Ken, is because we've had a lot of these shipped out now, and again, this is the prototype, but the production version of the knife has been shipped. In fact, I ordered 2 of them, and I've had one to my delivered to my house. Don't do it yet, but I'm going to make a post about show me your Rapid River knife. It doesn't have to be the Avery signature, but I want people to show me your knife. Show me your knife in action. Show me a pretty picture of your knife. Show me you holding your knife. It can be any Rapid River knife, or it can be the Avery version. And by the way, When I look at the numbers, we've raised about $2,000 now. Just starting the campaign, we've raised about $2,000 for the outdoor driven group, which is designed to which was formed to get first responders and veterans in the outdoors. And we just might present a check to Andrew Kumptis of Outdoor Driven at Jay's Sporting Goods on September 20th. I'm just saying, it just might happen. Anyway, Ken, I'm glad you bought that. Thank you. Okay, so can you believe next weekend's Labor Day? Or am I wrong? Let me check a calendar. Maybe I'm pushing the season here. Nope, next weekend's Labor Day weekend. Paul, my wife bought me a fillet knife from Rapid River. I opened it, she put it up, and I haven't seen it since. Meaning she borrowed it, or you guys can't find it? Wednesday night, Jay Widerski, Wednesday night, September 24th, we're going to do another Wednesday night live at the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. Jay, good morning, buddy. By the way, how are you? Looks like a knife you need, yes. You cannot use the Avery special. I mean, you can't use the Avery promo code to get the Avery. You cannot use the 15% Mike Avery 15% promo code from Rapid River on this knife. You can use it on every other knife. So you go to rapidriverknifeworks.com, rapidriverknifeworks.com. Use the promo code Mike Avery 15 to get 15% off. And by the way, I'm not going to share the numbers, but Chris told me how many tens of thousands of dollars in knives they have sold using the Mike Avery 15 promo code. It's pretty impressive. She put it away and you haven't found it. Okay. Michigan Deer Tracking Network. Meet your neighbors now and contact your local tracker to get to know them. Yes, good suggestion, Ron. Thank you. In fact, coming up on this week's show, Rob Miller is my first guest this week talking about using a tracking dog during the Michigan bear season. Michigan bear season is just around the corner. Charlie, I have to apologize.
Why did you have to apologize?
I had 2 packages of Michigan brand products. One of them, the peppered elk. No, one of them, the jerky, pepper jerky, and one of them was the turkey jerky, like you like. And I left them on the counter. So I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, well, it's on me.
The fact that you were thinking of us.
Well, I was thinking of you, but that didn't do any good. Coming up on this week's show, Rob Miller talks about using a tracking dog to recover bears. I wish we would have had a tracking dog in White River, but there wasn't one available. Then Paul Perone of VersaSkins. It's getting to be that season. Paul will be at the big Woods and Water Outdoor Show in Imlay City the first weekend after Labor Day. And then Franklin Hayes of the Michigan Wildlife Council talks about a change in direction. I'm actually going to, I'm going to play that spot during the conversation with Franklin. They've gone from promoting hunting and fishing to the non-hunting and fishing public. They've made a change in direction, and they want to talk to the hunters and anglers now directly, which I am all in on. I think it's wonderful. I will play that spot, and we will talk with Franklin Hayes about that, which reminds me I got to find that spot. Then in hour number 2, Paul Phillips. Did he ever come back and say he could do it? Nothing from Paul, but I think we're going to have him on in hour number 2. Justin Tomei talks about the recent NRC decision to back down, do the right thing, and have a year-round coyote hunting season. And in hour number 3, Tom Lounsbury, longtime outdoorsman, just talks about crossbows. He talks about bear hunting and more. And then we'll wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. Okay. Yes, isn't this change in weather wonderful? Tommy, waiting to hear back from Rapid River, the wife and I, to get a couple special knives for a family member we just lost. Yeah, talk with Chris, as you know. Chris Durson is very good about that. $25,000 for next year's golf outing. But yeah, you are getting ahead of yourself. Good morning, Lee. How are you? Robert, 2 wolves on his bear bait this morning. That's not going to work, is it? Richard, good morning. I saw that. Jay, thank you for the reminder. Sturgeon release for the Saginaw Bay watershed this Friday, and Mullet and Black Lake is Saturday. Thank you for that, Jay. I'm not going to be in town, or I would be over to watch that, but congrats on that. That's very cool. Killer Food Plots, good morning. Good morning, Rich. We are going to do a Killer Food Plots podcast with Rich Krazan today. Keep an ear and an eye out for that tomorrow. I should have it posted tomorrow. How much time, Charlie?
We've got about 2.5.
Oh, 2.5. We could tell the story of the world in 2.5 minutes. Okay. Avery Knife. So the promo code is no longer Avery15. It is Mike Avery 15, and you can use that at rapidriverknifeworks.com. Thank you, Rocky. I appreciate that. It sucks, and I will talk about it extensively, but I appreciate Tim picked up the new deer turkey blind from Tideway. I don't know how you say it. It's the 360 see-through. Pretty cool technology. I miss the DNR response on Michigan Out of Doors. To what, Robert? Help me out. Did you hear the DNR response on Michigan Out of Doors? I did not. Their response to what? Let me go back to this blind here. I deeply miss the fact that Primal is no more, and you can't buy a new Primal Wraith 270 see-through ground blind. You can buy them. You can buy it on Amazon. There are a few more out there. So I've seen the C361, and it looks very interesting. My question, Tim, is can you put a panel behind you to actually black out the panel behind you? I don't want 360 visibility, because if the bear comes in or the deer comes in and they see you silhouetted against the back, I want 270. I want a panel behind me. Is there a drop-down panel you can use? That wolves are not a factor in low deer numbers. I did not see that.
50 seconds.
How did we go from 2.5 minutes to 50 seconds? You can't trust Charlie. Okay, some things to be aware of. Wednesday Night Live tonight. Wednesday Night live at the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch on the 24th of September. They do send an extra panel. Cool. And I think that's an Charlie. Charlie is the bane of my existence sometimes. He's like my best friend, and then he's a taskmaster. Just hard to keep on top of things. Okay, so I will talk about my bear hunt here in a couple of minutes ad nauseum for the radio show. And then we'll drop it. Okay, time to move on.
And 5.
Promo code for Rapid River is now Mike Avery 15. Blast off. You cannot use it for the Avery signature knife. Okay, you cannot use it for this knife. Everything else, Mike Avery 15. They do send an extra panel. I'm going to have to check that out. Do you buy it from the company or do you buy it on Amazon, Tim? And I won't be able to respond to your answer here, because I will switch the focus from this, my social media microphone, to this, my official broadcast microphone. But I will be able to talk with you tonight. I have a little PR thing. Are you going to Midland Brewing tonight, Charlie?
I'll be there.
You will? You sound so excited.
Yes!
Indeed, this is the big guy, Mike Avery. Thank you, Ken Hunter, for that introduction, and welcome to another edition of the Outdoor Magazine radio show. Right here on the Outdoor Magazine radio network on more than 30 radio stations across our great state of Michigan. And so glad to have you along with us as we continue this celebration of the outdoor lifestyle. We talk about hunting and fishing and shooting and trapping and outdoor issues and conservation issues and wildlife issues and even some wild game cooking. Every week we do this for 3 hours, and I am blessed to be able to sit at this microphone and talk about it, and thank you for being along with me. I do certainly appreciate it. Well, I've been saying for the last several weeks now, Hey, it's coming. The end of summer's coming. The kids are going back to school. Labor Day's coming up. And guess what? In my town, the kids went back to school this week. And Labor Day weekend is next weekend. So, really, kind of the end of summer, the unofficial end of summer is here. And I hope you had a chance to get out and do all the things that you were hoping to be able to do. I recently got back from an outdoor adventure that I look forward to almost every year. And that is my Ontario bear hunt with Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters in White River, Ontario. I didn't go up there last year because I had a Michigan bear tag and I got my Michigan bear with Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer. But I was up there in the spring of 2023 and I got a bear with Ron. I've shot, I don't know how many bears I have shot with Ron and Pete Jones of Superior Bear Outfitters before that. I was trying to add up the number of bears that I have taken over the years. And I think it's somewhere around 20. As I look around the different mounts I have, the different rugs I've had, the different bear rugs that I've given away, I think it's pushing 20. I absolutely love bear hunting. I love being up close and dealing with bear. I love judging the size of bear. I love watching bears. I love everything about bear hunting. So let me tell you about my hunt last week in White River. I was going up there not with the intent of shooting a trophy bear because, as I say, I have no more room for rugs or mounts or shoulders or full body mounts or anything. I was going to give the hide to Scott Keatsman of Linwood Taxidermy. I was going up there. I went up there to shoot a meat bear. We love bear meat. We don't like bear roast. We don't like bear steaks, but we love bear burgers and we love bear brats. So not holding out for a trophy animal at all. I get to White River. I check in with Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters, a great guy, a hardworking guy. He and his sons had been out for weeks baiting the different sites, getting the bears accustomed to coming in. I told Ron, I said, look, I'm only going to be up there for 2 or 3 days, so I'm not looking for multiple bear sites. Give me one bait site. I will sit on that one bait site. I will bait that site myself. You won't have to worry about me, okay? Tell me where it is. Show me on the GPS where it is. I'll take care of the rest of it. And actually, he showed me the site, and I couldn't remember it. But I looked on my GPS, my Onyx, which, by the way, I'm absolutely in love with Onyx on your phone. If you're a hunter and don't have it, you should consider it. And I look, and there's a waypoint. I've hunted it before, so I know where it is. I know how to get there. I'm good to go. I go out there the first day of the hunt. I bait this. I go up about 3:30. I'm thinking, man, I don't want to get there too early because it's dark till almost 9:30. I don't want to go out there too early and that the magic hour just before dark be antsy and anxious and moving around. So I went out there at 3:30. Didn't see an animal. But I checked the trail camera, and the trail camera showed that there was actually movement earlier in the afternoon. So I said, you know what? The next day, hey, I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to go out there earlier the next day. I was out there at 2 o'clock the next day, prepared for a long sit. I'm in a ground blind because that is how I love to hunt bears. I realize you get better visibility from a tree stand. I can't sit for 6 hours in a tree stand without making noise or moving or scratching my head or fighting the mosquitoes or stretching my legs. I can't do it. So I like to sit in a ground blind because it conceals my movement. It protects me from the rain. It protects me from the elements. And I love being at ground level at 14 or 15 yards from a bait. So it's like, okay, this is up close and personal. I love it. The second day of the hunt, 3:30 in the afternoon, I see this bear come into the bait. But he's not really sneaking in. He's like, okay, I'm coming into this bait. Boom, 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 here I am. I'm thinking, well, that's pretty gutsy, especially since you're not that big of a bear. It was probably about 150 pounds. A nice, decent, respectable bear. But I didn't want to shoot one that small. So I watched that bear. He came in. He spent 45 minutes at the bait. He wiped out my bait. He ate all the bait, and then he wandered off. And I thought, well, you son of a gun. Did you leave anything for what I hope is a bigger bear coming in later? Because on that same trail camera, the pictures of, I had seen this smaller bear come in the daytime, and then I saw a real nice bear that came in the middle of the night. The bear that came in the middle of the night was a tank, real big, real fat, just a bear I'd love to shoot. So the small bear leaves. So I settle in. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying the situation, the scene. I've got ravens coming in. Ravens are your friend when you're hunting a bait in Ontario, because if the ravens come in, they will make the other critters feel at ease, because the ravens are pretty squirrely. If they've come in, you're good to go. I'm watching the squirrels. I'm watching the snowshoe hares. And then about 7:15, looking directly across the bait into the bush, really thick, I see movement. I see a bear coming in, and I know right away it's not that smaller bear. I know right away this is a good bear. But this bear is coming in very, very cautiously. It stopped about 30 yards short of the bait. It's looking at the bait. It gets up on its hind legs. I can see it just through the bush. It gets up on its hind legs, checking things out. It's got its snout in the air, trying to get a whiff, trying to get a scent. But the wind's perfect. The wind is blowing from the bait to the blind. Bear finally works its way in, and it's a nice bear. I'm putting it about 275-ish. It was not the bear on the trail camera pictures from the night before. This is a taller bear. The head looked like a big boar. Had a crease down the forehead, but the body shaped like a sow. Interesting. But it's a big bear. It's a shooter bear. It's by itself. It gives me a shot. I have my crossbow. It gives me a shot. I make the shot. I feel very good about the shot. The bear runs off. No death moan, which I always feel better when I get a death moan, right? Because I got a dead bear right there. I replay the shot in my mind. I'm thinking it's a good shot. I look at the shot on the video because I have a Tacticam running on my crossbow. I can look at it on my phone. Yeah, it's right where I thought it was. It's a good shot. It's a dead bear. If anything, maybe just a touch back. It's not gut shot. Maybe liver. Let's go see what we've got. So I was able to get a cell signal out there, which is a surprising thing. I texted the guys in town, said, I've hit a bear. I didn't get a death moan. I'm going to go check. I'm probably going to need some help. So they send some help out there. We get on the trail that the bear ran away from the bait on, and we get blood. Good blood. So we start tracking the animal. And I'm telling you what, when I say that this terrain out there is thick, you can't imagine what I'm talking about. It is thick. It's a swamp. It's gnarly. You're stepping into holes that'll put you 4 feet down into the water. You can't see anything. This is still daylight. We're following the bear. We keep finding blood. Okay, we're going to find this bear. Here's blood. Let's go a little farther. Here's some more blood. Good blood. Let's go a little farther. Now, looking back on it, we should have backed out. We should have backed out and just waited till the morning, and we would have found that bear dead in his bed. I'm convinced of it. But we didn't, because we were on good blood. We kept pushing and pushing and pushing until finally we ran out of blood. I know better. I made a mistake. Came back the next morning, 4 of us, 3 of them very good trackers, and could not find more blood and did not find the bear. Do you know how hard it is to talk about this publicly? It's something that every hunter will eventually do. We try to make a quick, clean, humane killing shot and do everything we can to recover the animal that we've hit. I didn't recover it. Didn't get that bear. Made a mistake. Should not have pushed it. It stinks. It stinks that I have to talk about it. It stinks that I have to relive it. But I'm hoping you can learn from this. I know better. You probably know better. But don't let the excitement of the track get the best of you, which it did for me. It wasn't a bad shot. Wasn't the great shot, best shot I ever made, but it was a killing shot. That bear's dead. But I didn't recover it. And it stinks. No tracking dogs up there. People were saying online, well, Avery, the anatomy of the bear requires you to shoot a different location. Look, I know where to shoot a bear, okay? I've shot a few of them. I made a mistake. And now I got to live with it. I got to talk about it. I got to share it. It stinks. All right, my friends. It is what it is. I got to move on, and I will. So you have a good day. I will do the same. I will be back here tonight at 7 for another edition of Wednesday Night Live. In the meantime, enjoy the cooler weather, and we'll talk tonight at 7 o'clock.